Well, milalu, chini bang bang. I have no idea what I just said, but it was kind of cool.
Is it actual Chinese?
It's from an album. I don't no idea. And the guy whose album it is probably something very bad.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's a band. It's a Mr. Bungle. So it's Mike Patton's band from. It's back in the '90s. It was part of that.
Wow.
So
Well, maybe you don't want to repeat it on the camera. Maybe
no,
we
probably,
should. Who
probably
knows?
not. I don't know what I said, but
Yeah.
so no disclaimer on that one.
Yeah. What you were doing there on the wall got me really curious. I don't know if
I was just sitting there thinking, I'm like trying to stretch out my hand on the thing, and I just thought to close it, and I'm like pushing my hand away from the wall, and I was like, wow, that worked really good. Because
so your cue is to like to push yourself away from the wall and
with
then
your
open
fingers.
with your fingers.
Yeah, because I was trying to stretch my hand, and then one of the things where I did that, because I was trying to get it back open to where I can get them normal.
Yeah. Okay. This is actually really cool because this topic gets me really curious. I have a big weakness, and you see how small and tiny my wrists are.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
legit. Like put your finger. Like this is a woman's wrist, quite literally.
Yeah. Okay.
Mark knows this, and that's what's got me kind of obsessed with like learning how to train the hands because like with jujitsu, the hands are important.
Oh yeah, you grip fighting.
Grip. So I'm curious because you do strongman. You guys use your hands probably more than any other lifter because every other lifter uses barbells.
Right.
You guys have implements like sandbags and all these other things. So
Yeah.
for most people who probably don't do much for their hands,
Right.
what are the top things that you think that they should do to strengthen their hands?
Farmer's walk.
With like kettlebells or dumbbells?
With kettlebells, dumbbells, with pretty much anything. Farmer's walk, because you're just going to pull it out of your hands. And I mean,
For long distance, or you think like
both.
both? Okay.
Heavy weights for short distances or for distances like 20 meters or so.
Yeah.
And then medium weights for as far as you can go. I mean, I'll take, when my hands are feeling good, it'll be somewhere between 275 and 300 pounds, and I'll try to go 200 feet with it.
And you're talking about like what, a trap bar or per
No,
hand?
per hand, farmer's walk implements.
That's stupid. That's fucking ridiculous.
He's like picking up like 600 pounds basically.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like I'll take the yoke and I'll try to, I won't go for speed, but I'll put like 900 pounds on and I'll try to go like 200, 250 feet with it because your core stability while you're doing that just goes through the roof. You have to stay tight.
Yeah.
So, and it's not about going fast and the time under that tension, it's just nuts what it does. And I'll do that like every 3 weeks or so when I'm training it.
Yeah. I want people to actually like notice something too. Like if you look at my hand, my hand doesn't look necessarily small, but then if you look at Nick's hand, like just put your hand towards the camera, you could see how much like thicker the musculature of his hand and like, shit. You get what I'm saying? So that makes a lot of sense too. Farmers, okay, so what else? Farmers walks and carries.
Farmer's walks and then grab the end of the bar. Like,
end of the
so like a
barbell.
2-inch handle. If you set it up on like a bench or something, counterbalance the weight, of course, because you don't want the thing to flop and hit you in the face. But you just grab here and you literally pick up and stand up like this and then just put it down. Whoops. And then just put it down. So you just do this with the weight. But you know, you'll get 5-6 plates on this side when you're able to do that. If you, the crushing strength.
Yeah.
I've never not been able to pick up a Thomas inch dumbbell.
Okay.
So it's that type of stuff where it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Do you like using, you've seen those Gripzilla things all, do you like those or do you not really mess with those?
I don't even mess with them.
Don't really mess with them?
If the basic stuff's working, you don't have to
Yeah.
jump around to a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I'll train what's going to relate to what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
So if you're doing something that it's going to relate to, then do that. If it's got nothing to do with what you're going to compete in, it doesn't make any sense to waste your energy doing it.
Makes sense. So I think this kind of falls in line too. There's those two movements, grabbing the end of the barbell, thicker handle, farmer's walks.
Yeah.
Now, as far as hands, wrists, and forearms, because I know like all of those will work the forearms too. Do you do anything specifically for wrists and forearms? Or is it just, everything just works together?
Everything just works together, and then just the rest of your basic lifting. I mean, you go out and you do like an arm over arm.
An arm over arm?
Yeah, where you drag something arm over arm to you.
Yep.
That really works your hand strength like you wouldn't believe as well.
That's true, it does.
You know, you get out and do one of those like once a month or so as part of your grip training with just your regular strongman stuff, it's going to help.
Yeah. How often do you think, how often do you do this stuff? And then for someone who's like, I have weak womanly hands, and no offense to women, I know you're strong too, but if they want to strengthen their hands, what's a frequency you think would make some sense?
Well, fairly, if you're working your grip like twice a week, pretty hard, that's plenty.
Okay.
And then even once a month, or once a week, because everything you do is going to work your grip in a certain way.
Yeah.
So it's overtraining is really easy to do as well. So it just you just kind of find that balance.
Gotcha.
With things, and certain things heal faster than others. Your grip comes back really fast, where other things take a lot longer.
That's true. Okay.
Like when you get done squatting and stuff like that, you might not heal from that, especially as you get older, for like 8 days.
That gets me curious, man. You said you're 60?
I'm 56.
You're 56. Okay. How the hell are you recovering the way you do? Because like you see most guys when they get to their 50s, they don't even compete like you. They're not as strong as you. They don't have.
Right.
They just stop because they're one thing everyone says is like, I don't recover like I used to.
You don't. So take the extra day. Build in the longer rest times. And that's what people don't seem to get. They don't get it like really at all, period, when it comes to strength training in general, because your tendons and connective tissue take longer to heal than the muscle. Nobody talks about it. Nobody wrote programs for it. But it's especially for strength athletes, it's the most important thing. If your connective tissue heals, your injury is going to be so much less. So the training frequency is like a little too much. If you take I didn't even know I trained a lot of conjugate stuff until I started training with James. James was like, well, this is conjugate. And I'm like, well, I've never read any of that stuff from Westside. He goes, but it's a conjugate method. I'm like, okay, because I rotate my exercises around. I'll have a heavy week, a speed week, stuff like that. Well, he does the heavy and the speed in the same week. I don't. I spread them apart. And I think that's the flaw in the program.
The flaw in his program? Or
the flaw in his program.
His program, okay.
As far as, Louis, there's no flaw in your programs, but if you're going to survive a long period of time, the frequency has to be it doesn't make sense to work out before you're all the way recovered. And you're not all the way recovered for your tendons and ligaments much longer than it is for a muscle. Look at your surgeries. If you get abdominal surgery and they cut through the muscle, it takes 2 months for that to heal all the way where you can really start going after it. But if you get a tendon reattached or something like that, you're looking at really like 6 months. So the recovery time is 3 to 2 or 3 to 1. And it's the same with the muscle. So if the muscle heals in 2 days, your tendons and ligaments could be healed in actually 6. Ooh. And as you get older, when it heals in 4 days, the tendon and ligaments could be healed in 8.
What do you use to, in training? I think you were mentioning straps a little earlier.
Yeah.
I think to preserve your grip, should
Yeah.
people be using, I guess you got to pick and choose when you use straps, right?
Yes. Yeah, you pick and choose when you use straps. If I'm getting ready for a powerlifting meet or a strongman contest, I won't use them as much. And if I'm
Thank you.
Not, and I'm just doing strongman, then I'll use my straps for, pretty often. Because I want to focus on my back, not on my grip.
So on a lot of accessory movements, like a dumbbell row, some sort of heavy row, you're like, let me get the most out of it, lat-wise, save my hands.
100%.
And then when it's time to train your hands, you train your hands.
You're going to train the heck out of my hands. But I train my hands on something that is targeted to train my hands with. So like I said, I'll grab the end of the bar, or I'll do a farmer's walk, or I'll just go in and put the bar in the rack and just pick it up with as much weight as I can, double overhand, then I'll switch my grip and pick up as much weight as I can with a mismatched grip, just working my grip.
Is the giant fat guy era kind of over? In terms of powerlifting and strongman?
I think
is it been kind of laid to rest almost, or is there a couple still out there hanging on?
I think there's a couple out there still hanging on, but I think
because you look amazing, and you said you're what, 280 pounds?
285.
Yeah,
290.
Well, that's wild, a lot of muscle.
So I've just been very fortunate to find what works for me very well, and to continue to be able to do it through longevity, because you can't build it fast, and it won't last if you rely on a lot of other things. So it's got to be the hard work and time and put in over decades.
You can't just wave 420 and expect to be able to party with the pro strongman guys.
No. But as far as the area where the guys come in, they're just big and fat and doing all that stuff. Yeah, that's kind of gone.
Is it a sport change? Is the sport more athletic?
The sport has switched back to more athletic, but the weights really didn't go down that much. They went down some, but not that much. So where they were trying to do like the 1,500-pound yoke at the Arnold, now you're looking at like between 1,000 and 1,100 pounds, and they're trying to go really, really fast with it. So yeah, it's gotten more athletic, but 1,100 pounds on a yoke is still like obnoxiously heavy.
A lot of grapplers and a lot of people we've had on the podcast, they talk a lot about like training the neck, training the grip, training the neck for grapplers.
Yeah.
This guy's always training the neck. What are some things you do?
Train neck, towel. I mean, I haven't trained neck since I played football, but yeah, to train your neck, you just take a towel, just use your own resistance.
Manual resistance?
Yeah, and then you can attach a band, like a rubber band to a wall, and you can sit here and go like this. And
sort of till your neck gets tired.
Yeah, till your neck gets tired. Just a towel. I mean, sometimes the most basic, simple things are the easiest and the best way.
Lean against a wall, right? Static, hold.
Just sit here and do that, and neck bridges, and all the old traditional stuff that people don't do anymore.
Dude, fuck
The revelation.
Dude, yeah. I use a head harness, and this is like just as good as a fucking head harness.
A lot cheaper.
It's cheaper. Holy shit. Get a fucking towel. Get a towel for your neck. That's
No, the crazy thing is if you throw things through, you could actually put weights on it too.
Is that what you did? Did you do that shit?
My neck is actually small. When I played football, my neck was out past my ears.
Shit.
So for me, my neck is small. But my neck used to be a lot bigger.
A huge part of strongman is knowing a good seamstress, right?
Yes.
These guys do the craziest shit with their equipment. Their elbow sleeves, knee sleeves, nothing's off the shelf.
No, nothing.
Special things with the tacky and whatever else.
Yeah, well,
not that that's going to make anyone strong, but it's what you guys do to get that last little edge, right?
Yeah, well, tacky, if you're not going with like about 7 different blends of tacky, you're not going to be as successful as you could be. And I mean, you can see it. Look at the strongest men on earth last year when they went to do the heavy stones. The guys made massive mistakes on the tacky. I mean, for Tom not to get one, that was a pretty massive mistake. So, I mean, and tacky makes a massive difference on stones, and people just don't respect it.
Your gym bag's like a giant hockey bag, huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it looks like that. I mean, yeah, it's pretty big. So
every little trick in there that you can think of.
Yeah, when I'm going to a contest, that bag will be full of nothing but stuff for strongman when I go. Now it's just got a little bit of gym stuff in it, but not much.
We were hoping you could show us a little bit of Sandbag stuff.
I can help you direct with
coach
it.
us on how to pick it up. That's
Some
fine.
of the stuff with this, I'm still a little. I gotta be careful. I'm still under workman's comp.
Yeah, you can just yell at us.
Yeah, that I don't mind doing, and I'll help you with that technique. No problem.
I'm actually just sort of curious, like on the technique. I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
I have like my mobility's not amazing, so it's kind of hard for me to scoop underneath it all the way, type thing. But
yes, and there's tricks to that. So that's a major thing because my mobility, my sacrum and 5 and 4 are all naturally fused. They don't move anymore. So everybody comments on my weird deadlift technique, and it's just the way I grab the bar, the most comfortable way to grab the bar.
And so you kind of wedge yourself underneath to.
I literally wedge myself underneath there. I'm pulling myself in to get in position. So like with anything less than probably 265, the bar comes off the ground when I'm trying to get in position. So I have to have that. That'll be like my starting weight to warm up with.
Cool. Let's give it a try. Let's mess around with it a little bit.
All right. So.
There's like 200.
Probably the white one that's a little taller and longer. Well, that was pretty good.
Yeah, we've been messing with these a little bit, but like I usually just pick up the baby one. That's kind of like I mess with that one and that one here and there, but
All right, well, with the bag and you're having a hard time getting rid of it, which is the side that you have trouble getting down to the most?
Oh, I usually just stand over it and kind of go here, and then I kind of wiggle underneath it the best I can. I kind of stuff my hands underneath there.
Okay, yeah, that's a good technique. But most of the bags are a lot bigger and a lot taller, and they're longer like this one. So there's tricks to those. So you're gonna take the bag and you'll lay it down in your hand here, right? Like my side, for me to get down to this foot, ain't happening, but I can get down to this one.
I see.
So I lean it into this hand, so my pick point's here. I'll reach underneath here just to where I can get a hold of it.
Yep.
And I just pick it up like this and pop it, pull my feet together and pop it here, and then up and around. I catch it on the belt and stand up and then go. The big thing is catching it on the belt, because now the belt, all that weight's not on your stomach or on your diaphragm, so you can breathe and run. All the weight's on your hips and the belt.
Right.
And you can do that a very, very long time. It also
use a special belt, or is it just a normal?
No, it's just a regular lever belt.
Okay. Sometimes you wear two belts, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes you have like the
you got the
strongman
soft
belt, kind of softer thing.
Yep.
And regular belt over top.
Correct. And those two together will make a nice little shelf for you to pull the bag into, and then you can go a long distance. All the guys that do it without a belt are just working harder for no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting paid to do strongman.
Right.
So it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter and faster.
Right.
Question, does a belt ever feel like it
I'll
makes
just
it
throw mine
hard
on.
to get down? Or
Yeah, it can, but you just force yourself into the position, because it's gonna make a pretty big,
Let's throw mine on, see what difference it
yeah,
makes.
now, you leave it loose. Not too tight,
Just like there.
too tight.
Yay.
so now if you put the bag on that, it'll kind of
Maybe even one more looser. There you go. So there, because you're not doing it for support. You're doing it to catch the belt, to catch the bag on. You feel all that sticking out
Guys
like
are
that?
cheating. I knew it.
I wonder how many young strongmen are going to be watching this like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, you have no idea how many times I'll go to a contest and I'll sit there and I'll say this to people as they're going, and they ignore you and do it the hard way anyway. And then you get the one or two that listen, and all of a sudden they're like, choo-choo. And you're just like,
Well, you also have the lever, which is probably creating a little bit more, of a shelf, right?
yeah, well, the lever belt, the lever itself will stick out
Yeah.
and will catch on things and dig into the sandbag really well
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't dig into your arms and everything else.
No, it doesn't touch your arms at all.
So you usually just try to squish your own arms a little bit, right?
Yep.
And you go here.
Pick. Now, as you pick it up, let it slide down to the belt.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Now it's on the belt.
That's crazy.
Now hold it for a while.
Yeah, that's wacky.
It just hooks onto that.
Just kind of walk around. It actually feels like it's
Now, as you're walking, don't lean back. Lean slightly forwards and let the bag pull you forwards. Feel how it comes off your hamstrings?
Yep.
Now lean back and see what it feels like. You see it's on your hamstrings?
yeah, and lower back immediately.
Right, but if you lean forwards, that's how you set world records in that event.
That's pretty cool.
It's not about leaning back and carrying it this way.
You
It's
gotta
about
just try that.
be as straight as you can.
That was
Yeah.
a drastic difference. It's pretty crazy.
Okay, now, what I was saying with that, stand the bag up.
Stand it up.
Yep, stand it up. Okay, now, bring your feet closer to it. Okay, lean the bag into this hand with your hand right here. So lean the bag this way. Okay, now reach down with that one. Take this foot, step that way a little bit. Now step right with this one towards, now pick it straight up and pull this hand to your knee.
Pull this hand, so put it here. Then
And pull it straight up, but pull that hand to your knee fast. There you go. Now up. Now let it slide down to the belt.
oh, this is stupid. This is dumb, bro. This is so dumb.
Isn't that crazy?
Yo.
So
all the
now-
strongmen do that, huh?
Well, the smart
The
ones.
smart ones. That's smart. You don't feel the weight.
Right.
You're still carrying it though.
You're
You're still getting the
but it's
training
just
effect.
like,
Yeah.
It's right there. It's pulling you forward.
And when you get used to pulling it like that, see, now get down and put your hands underneath both sides. Okay, see how long that took?
Yeah.
Okay, now stand it back up. Now lean and reach. So boom, boom, and then reach, and then pull straight up. See how much faster that was?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, you're just bam, bam, and it's up, you just up, pop, and go. You cut 2 seconds off of just picking up the bag by not doing this with it and fumbling it in your hands. And 2 seconds at a world-class level is the difference between first and fifth.
I think people are confused. You know, there's a big difference between picking up a sandbag versus picking up a deadlift.
Correct.
And most of the time when we're training in the gym, when you're doing a squat, deadlift, bent over row, we're always super cautious of the low back, trying to keep the low back real stiff.
Right.
But this is a different animal. It's much lower to the ground. So
Correct.
you have to basically open up that spine and round a little bit, right?
A little bit, but that's why I do the T-bar rows the way that I do. Everybody complains about the rows that I do. I'm like, you know, I'm doing this, and I'm like, well, that's for picking up a stone, and that's for picking up a sandbag. Yeah. The movement's the same. I'm just training it without picking up the sandbag or picking up the other stuff because it's off-season work, and that's what I'm doing.
That's what you're visualizing.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a quick question for you. Just like when it comes to just training with a sandbag and lifting it for strength purposes, not for like, you know, what progressing to sandbag weights, differences between lifting here and here, and I'm not even thinking efficiency. I'm just wondering, like, what is your advice for building raw strength with it?
Building raw strength with it? If you want to build raw strength with it, first get used to picking it up, then get used to shouldering it and dropping it down or throwing it over your shoulder. It'll just, that's a lot of work. It will just make you strong as hell with sandbags.
Yeah, it's tiring.
And then pick them up and taking them off and running like 30 yards and then turn around and running back with it. Both of that, getting used to moving with it while carrying it, like what you just did.
Yeah, gotcha. And secondly, like when it comes to these longer bags, I know there's a difference between lifting it here, lifting it here. Would you just learn how to do both? Or is there an ideal, would you rather just stick with this?
If you're doing it to just be overall strong, do it every way you can do it. Okay. If you're doing it to compete or to just do something where you want to be real fast with it and stuff like that, you always pick it up the most efficient way possible. That way that I showed you is the most efficient way and quickest way possible.
Gotcha. Okay. Now I'm gonna lift this in a non-efficient way.
Okay.
And I just want, if you can just look at the way I'm lifting it and just let me know what you think I should try to adjust. So I usually don't lift it this way. I usually lift it this way, but I'm gonna lift it here. I'm just curious on your thoughts.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that was pretty solid all the way around.
Okay.
I mean, it really was. Just maybe bring your feet a couple inches closer.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then remember, you got to pick it straight up. Wait till you clear your knees, you pick it straight up. Then once you clear your knees, you pull it into your hips.
So I clear my knees. So.
Pick it just straight up, yeah. You're trying to basically row it from there.
Got it. Here?
See the difference? Yeah. How fast did that come up?
Yeah, much faster.
Yeah. Now, when you go to shoulder it like that, if you had the belt on, you throw it with the belt.
Yeah. So like hanging from the belt and just.
Yeah, it sits on the belt. When you pop it up, you use your hips and legs and pop it up with the belt.
Okay. Okay.
But
cool.
now, do that 10 times.
Yeah.
As fast as you can.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thing. The belt is not necessarily to support you like people use it for a deadlift. The belt is just a leverage tool.
If you don't have that 400-pound belly, yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Makes sense. Thank you. This helps a lot.
Yeah. No problem. Glad I could help.
Yeah. Yes, here.
Makes me crazy not doing it myself.
Oh, yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, you're dying to do it, right?
Yeah.
And especially because you could pick up probably a bunch of those at the same time.
Yeah.
Those 300s have been kind of sitting there.
Probably all of them.
Working up.
But it was fun. I was just getting back to where I could, pick up and run with the 300s with no problem. Because, that'll be the heaviest one that we would have to do possibly at the Masters 50 plus OSG. So you probably would be like 275 and you pick up 2 of them and drop them and push into something or drag something. So I usually do a carry and drag. I do that in training anyway.
How long have you been doing strongman for?
First one I did was in 2004. So it's been 20 years now.
Yeah. And before that, you were powerlifting?
Yeah, I did powerlifting from, my first competition was in 85. The first state championship was in 86. And then came and moved to California. I did one in, I think, 91 and won the 220, won the state in 220s. And then started in 93. Mike O'Hearn beat me by 5 pounds, and that was the last person in California who ever beat me. I won from 94 through 99.
Is that in San Luis Obispo? That's where they used to have the championship.
Actually, that was in Santa Rosa.
Okay.
In 93. Mike just sent me a video of the 2 of us, I don't know where he got it from, walking around in the back after the contest was over.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I had hair. So it's kind of cool, but it was kind of neat knowing that guy that long. So.
How many times have you thought that this is over?
So many. But you just reevaluate your injury and you're like, okay, well, I can get better from this, so I'm going to get better from this, and then we'll see where it goes. And you just go in with the mindset is, I'm not going to be over till I'm not having fun. So even if I can still do it and maybe not win anymore, if I'm still having fun, I'm still going to do it. It's just, I love doing it. So I get, like looking at this, I had to reevaluate when that thing's sitting over here and it's all broken. You can play with it and it's wiggling all over the place. You're like, oh, I don't know how that's going to work out. But you wait, you go to the doctors, you go through the processes, and you decide, okay, well, I can keep moving forward, so I'm going to keep moving forward. Then you keep moving forwards till you can't move forwards. And then you decide what you want to do.
I used to get hurt, and then I would just like wait a few weeks before I even said anything in my head or anything to anybody else. I was like, let me just wait and see how I feel, because the way that you feel when you first get hurt, you're like, I really messed up.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm pretty much done. But then, I don't know, 2 weeks go by, and you're like, I could work around this. I can work through this.
Exactly. It's like, well, this contest is out of reach now, but next year is just fine. So redesign everything, rewrite my programs, reset my goals, and then just
work on stuff you suck at.
Correct.
Right.
And just come back stronger.
It's awesome. All right, that's Nick Best. We're going to hop into a podcast with him too. Strength is never a weakness, weakness is never a strength. Catch you guys later. Whoosh.